started over here. Sorry about that. It didn't want to play nice because it looks like YouTube has redone some of the like HUD. So it's still the same old bad that it was, but now instead of boxes having sharp edges, they now have rounded edges. Because literally nothing on that end changed, which is kind of funny to me. Okay. I do believe I already got the tweet out as well, so make sure you guys go give that some love. Let me double check here. Because I don't remember if I hit the send button. I did. Okay. Well, some of you already got to it. Nice. Thank you. Grab you guys today's sauce. Alright, what did I do with it? Hey, what? Thank you. Dear Lord. Okay. My Discord's doing that weird thing again where it will not allow me to use any sort of link inside of it, and I'm not sure why. What am I aiming for Annie GSSR? Chat, tell the man. I usually I have no idea what I do for GSSRs because I have so many of the units that it's always kind of a crapshoot. There's not really anyone to like aim for. I have in the past tried to do stuff like that, but yeah, I usually just say fuck it and don't bother even paying it any mind until the day of. Which is kind of nice. It's kind of liberating because I know a lot of people like really worry about their GSSR, but at least for me, I just go like, yeah, it'll be a thing the day of. Okay. So, let's make sure that yep. Okay. All right, here we go, chat. Hello. How's everybody doing today? Hope you guys are having a great Tuesday. Here is today's artwork. As usual, go give the artist some love. Excuse me. Can't wait to roll for Summer Abbey soon. Yes. But yeah, so we're going to be talking about the QOL as well as kind of, you guys should know, they did announce the hunting quest. They were not today. They are tomorrow. I was off by a day. And it's really funny because me and Bob had this discussion, and then later me and Avalon had this discussion, and it was like, you know, I was sitting here and I was like, you know, I actually think it might be Tuesday here that it comes out. And a lot of people, you know, Bob and Avalon included, were thinking, okay, no, it's probably going to be Friday. And then, like, instead they chose Wednesday, and I don't really know why, other than they just did. So it's like, okay, it is what it is. Yes, that's true. It does take your event support list, so make sure you guys get that set up appropriately for hunting quests in advance. That is a good PSA. Thank you. What was I doing on JP? We had half cost interludes and strengthenings and stuff for at least 2 more days. Probably need to do Jax, so let's go ahead and do her since that's an actual NP interlude and she desperately needs that one. Is it gonna accept my pre-existing? No. Well, it might. Let's go for an Okitan Seba here. That's the wrong one. There we go. Boom. I think we'll just take waiver in the back line. I don't get to bond him very often. And then I'm going to switch and we're going to go find an actual Summer Scotty. SMH, guys. There we go. All right, that should work. Okay, sorry about that. Now I can pay attention to chat. They mentioned the patch updates. Yeah, like I said, we'll be talking about it. There's some very nice and cultured art for the wedding screen. Oh, the Race Queen one? Yeah, that one's done by Teddy. Teddy does fantastic art. I was looking through summer banners. Surprisingly, I have all the reruns this HQ banners on an A, so that's Pog. Yep. Which means you don't have to be tempted. You don't have to roll. But, I mean, like, you know, again, I was talking with Prophet right there at the beginning of stream, and it's like, you know, it's kind of bait, right, chat? But at the same time, it's like, if you want the unit, it's not bait. It's just, there's always that deliberation you're going to have to make between, do you know, want that unit more than you want new shiny unit? And that's totally up to you. I would say at that point, let rerun banners be your guide and pay attention to when each of the units is going to get the next follow-up banner and let that kind of be the deciding factor. Oh, by the way, chat, 2 enemy waves here. Want to roll for Buntoria, but she is on GSSR I'm rolling for. I mean, it's up to you. You could just try to get the token copy, or and then like maybe if you get her, you just get in P2, or you could just say, yeah, throw caution to the wind and just hope that that basically you get her off of off the GSSR. It's a detailed piece, according to a friend. Wait, what do you mean? Oh, you just mean because there's a lot of like stuff. Reminds me of Guam from Azure Lane. Yeah, Teddy's style often makes her look younger, interestingly enough, and I like don't know why that is. That's just Teddy, which is funny because I've seen Teddy draw more mature stuff. And I maybe should like say that to him if I get him to draw another piece for me. But it is it's an interesting thing that I've noticed across the pieces that he has done for me. The video going over all the events they uploaded made me tear up. Yeah, it's nice to actually see, like, again, some of like the progress that FGO has made. 7th Annie, since I haven't played much FGO lately, been having fun in Penal Colony. So chat, do people actually call it Penacony? Because like, I feel like that's just a walking sex joke. The surprise Super Ryan banner made me attempt some rolls. Yeah. You wanted the 5th copy? I got plenty to hit 2 pities for summer. Yeah, I mean, again, he's gonna get more banners, right, Pip? Pina colada, perhaps. Oh, you know, I probably should have looked at what what I was facing here. Pin 15 what? Yes, exactly. Gotta hit pity for the third banner in a row. Please tell me everything will be all right. Everything will be all right. As somebody that has functionally hit like 4 pities, and I didn't truly. I just had hit 2 in a row, and then the next 2 were exceedingly bad to the point of basically being pity. Right? So I get it. Now, to be fair, that was across multiple servers, but it eventually will improve. That's all I can really say. You don't have to sweat it too much. But it do be what it be. Okay, so I'm going to have 60% charge here. I don't know that that's going to be enough. Let's pre-card that with the Skadoodle. I don't think she'll kill, but well... Okay, I was going to say she did have the Buster buff. Hello, Neptune. How's it going? I wanted it to be go, but I felt it'd be super rhyme. Yeah. Law of averages has your back. Mm-hmm. At the very least, it's covering the cost of my GSSR. Oh, yeah. Which one on a support list would have Chaldea tea time? So keep in mind, right, that you can have 3 support lists, which means that you can have tea time 3 times. Now, this certainly depends, right? Like if you're sitting here and you're going like, hey, I have Castoria and I have like Oberon and I have like Scotty, then you're fine. But if you're like, hey, I have Castoria and I have Koyanskaya and I have Oberon and I have Scotty and I have Summer Scotty and I have Waver and I have Tamamo and I have Reigns and you see where the problem is, right? I'm going to say pick one for each card type and they need to be your priority. So to me, it's Castoria, Koyanskaya, and Summer Scotty are usually who get it. Every once in a while, if I feel like Oberon is the better choice due to comp structure that's getting used a lot, I'll throw it on him instead. But that's usually in the place of the Koyanskaya instead of the like Summer Scotty or the Castoria. But those are usually the 3 that I put it on. If that helps. Oh, wow. Exactly enough charge. Very nice. It will kill. I'm kind of new to the game, and I feel like your skill activation speed is much faster than mine, even though I have the battle speed at max. How can I speed the skills up? So I believe there's one that makes it so that you don't have to get the pop-up every time, Ahmed. So I just literally got out of the node, but let me get in here. And this mouse is just on my computer because I'm mirroring it. It's not like... For instance, you can see I'm trying to click and I don't get anything. I'm playing literally on my phone. Okay, let me go back in. Yeah, I don't care. I'll probably still be able to do it. 4 Saberface banners, that's right. And I don't have to roll any of them. Feels good, man. Like, I mean, it certainly would be nice to some degree, but I don't know. I'd be rolling purely for coins, and I don't want to do that. So it should be, and correct me if I'm wrong, chat. This button right here, I believe that allows for the double tap. So normally, and what happens like for most people if they don't have the setting on, you basically go to press and it gives you this pop-up. And so then you have to be like, hey. But if you had the setting correctly, then you can literally just tap and the character will in fact do it. And then how I can go faster is because of the speed up, I can tap and then tap again and it'll speed it up. So that's literally where people are saying, hey, double tap. But it's either there or it's somewhere in the game settings. I don't remember. It's just it's sort of like quicker speed skill activation or something like that, or like something where it doesn't give you the window. I don't remember what it's called because I haven't touched it in years. But I hope that helps, Ahmad. Confirm skill confirmation. Thank you. If you didn't have either of the saber faces on right up here, would you pick Bunny over Squirt? No, I'm not going to be shy about this. I think Squirtoria is one of the best saber faces, aside from like Castoria and maybe Castoria Berserker. Like, just straight up, she is just one of the best things you can get for your account. And part of the reason for that is just the sheer capability that she has for challenge content. Hello, Miss Tutu. How's it going? Thank you for the raid. Welcome everybody from Tutu Stream. And thank you for the shout out, Burning. How was Honkai Star Rail? Blonde PTSD. Oh, you're going to get a lot of that here. But how was Stream Tutu? What were you guys up to? She has too much NP refund for the damage she does. She's so broken. Yeah, so when you were asking about Summer Artoria, like, are you asking about Squirtoria, or are you asking about, like, you know, one of the other forms? Because Squirtoria is a really strong case to be made for NP2, but the case is quite literally just that getting NP2 kind of frees up her second skills usage. It is not required by any stretch of the imagination. Just makes her second skill a little bit easier to use, since you can go over 100% charge. But you still have to go over 100% charge for that to be the case. And some versions of her, some applications of her, like some uses, you'll easily get over 100%. Others, not as well. So, didn't they buff her in P gain? They buffed it like way back at her launch, like year 1. Well, sorry, year 2 technically, but was drawing them rolling the gacha. I got Firefly. Nice. Yeah, I hear a lot of people talking about Firefly, so I assume she's a very good unit over there. But congratulations on getting her. And again, guys, if you haven't checked out Miss Kuragi Tutu, go do so. She's a very comfy streamer, VTuber friend of mine, and again, fantastic artist. She draws Castoria all the time. She's the person drawing all of the Castoria comics that you see on Twitter and Reddit. I'm ready for that 50 cent quartz on the social media campaign. Yeah. Thoughts on Keo Lancer? I mean, they gave Keo Lancer an upgrade, and while I do think it helps, I still don't think it really did what it needed to do for her. Keo Lancer is just kind of like, she's one of those just kind of generic single target Lancers where she doesn't really do anything standoutish to me. To me, there's not really a reason to take Keo Lancer over, say, like any other Lancer. Now, if you really like Keo, that's your reason. But like for everybody else, I feel like most other people are probably just not going to care too much. I'm ready for that 50 cent crits on the social media campaign. Yeah, I do want to like PSA this. So chat, remember, you're going to get 50 cent quartz from the social media campaign. You're going to get like, 30 for our actual anniversary that we just had. So keep in mind, you probably will not get the same amount that JP got at actual anniversary, but it's just going to be because you got some of it earlier. Okay? Like, I do believe JP also had the 50 cent quartz for the social media campaign, but I don't know that they necessarily awarded the amount early. So just keep that in mind, that they're not going to stiff us on cent quartz. You're not getting less if that appears to be the case to you guys. 28,000 on Twitter already. Yeah, I mean, I think most people retweeted it, right? Especially for trying to actually get the quartz. People are going to be gung-ho about that sort of thing, which is really hilarious, because that should absolutely like teach the devs something, and that's that if people want the quartz. If they actually increase the quartz, people will be much more likely to actually go for it. Hold on here, chat. I need you. I need to get you out of here, though. My man be bonding like crazy in the back line. So I need to bond another 4-star. Might actually be Lalter at this point. Just so I can get some free coinage. Not 69, sadly. Yeah. Oh god, Cat has Janako on JP. Yes, I have multiple Janakos on JP. And the reason why is because she showed up instead of my waifu. And I was not pleased about it. I like the filters on today. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a minute. Not the fun number? No, I mean, like, you guys know the drill with them. They're going to kind of give you like the exact amount that JP got, and it just is what it is. So due to unfortunate circumstances, yeah. Like I said, I don't really hate Janako at all. I just unit wise, I don't think she's very necessary. I feel like of the Moon Cancer, she's kind of objectively the worst, even after her upgrade. It's just like I think she's in a better spot than she used to be, but I think like you don't really need her in any way, shape, or form. What level of comma should one have for this particular type of node? Mine's a level 100, but I think it's only NP1, if I remember correctly, so you should be okay. I mean, like, for instance, you guys can see I'm not one-tapping it, I'm just two-tapping it, and it works. It's just because, like, you need something that's going to be pretty decent at killing an alter ego. Obviously someone like Kama has it, Musashi Saber has it, and then you could try to like actually get away with using pretenders, but that's basically kind of what you're restricted to. I guess you could go with a really strong one-shot berserker, somebody that would maybe have like anti-divine or something like that, and it should also work potentially well. When do we get Annie? I want my Neko arc, hold the Neko. Probably gonna be July 7th, so literally that Saturday. Or sorry, yeah, because I think they're doing the panel on the 6th, and we always know that they do the panel and then you get the actual stuff at reset that night. So again, like headed into the 7th, you should have it. Ultra Ego Saberface one. We have one. It's Okitan. A Janako on a for funsies account, to be honest. She's been putting in work for me. Yeah, she's really tanky at least. So like that is the upside to her as well. She doesn't dish the damage necessarily. She doesn't go down very easily at least. So you can throw her in a lot of knockdown drag out situations and get a lot of mileage out of her. Like I'm gonna say again, like she's not bad. She's just objectively the worst of the Moon Cancers. But it doesn't mean that you can't use her effectively still. Do you think Neko Arc would become a servant? I absolutely think that they could do it. I absolutely think that it would sell like hotcakes if they did. I just don't know whether or not they care to. So like, I think it would require the right set of circumstances, but they easily could, because at this point we've seen them kind of just, you know, do a whole bunch of stuff. Hello, Gurus. How's it going? Neko Arc is the final beast boss. Yes, I could see that. No, we're just finishing up AP on JP here, and then we got to go do NA, and then we're gonna talk about the quality of life and stuff that came out here. Which again, we're going to be getting Hunting Quest tomorrow. Like we said, don't forget the PSA about your support lists. That's always the thing with that. So make sure you guys actually like set up your event supports for it. This might be a decent time to also look at some of the advanced quests, like craft essences, and see if they're actually going to be of use to you in this. To me personally, they're only like the 5% rate. It's not the end of the world. But if there's any time that you're ever even going to use the 5% ones, it probably needs to be on a hunting quest. It's just like, yeah, it's not going to make or break you for the most part. Would you want pseudo servants of the cryptors? No, not really. Like, I feel like they could do that, but one, it would kind of cheapen their story arc, and two, it'd kind of be an ass pull. I'm not going to say they couldn't. I'm sure they could write their way into it, but I'm not sure I would care much for it. Yeah, we do have Woo, but I mean, again, sorry, not Woo, you. But you is like, again, kind of that exception to that rule, and it's because the story was written that way in the first place. But Khadroth as a master option, I mean, I'm okay if they wanted to give us like different appearance choices, but I don't know about like actually putting another character as the choice. I only want Pepe, yes. Is the QAB chain this, Annie? You're talking about Mighty Chain? Yes. And if you're wanting to know more about that, I have a video that talks all about it, so feel free to go check it out. Hello, Shiru. Are Summer Melts and Karen's batteries not working as intended on an A? I did see somebody talking about that in FGO General. Apparently it's bugged. I have not tested it myself, but I guess it's not actually draining is what I've heard. So you guys would have to tell me if that's the case. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm excited for anniversary coming up. It's going to be nice, really, for a lot of reasons. Particularly, I'm looking forward to it mostly for the Mighty Chain. Actually, having Mighty Chain means I can stop trying to be of two brains, and I can basically go like, okay, Mighty Chain is always in play, and the only time I need not need to remember the old system of how to card is when I can't form a Mighty Chain. Which the majority of the time you can. Like you see, you can kind of Mighty Chain throughout a lot of it. And for instance, like you guys saw right there, it used to be that in the old system, if you had a quick NP, you would try to like Buster before the quick NP or Arts before the quick NP, so that your third card and extra basically would both get the benefit of the two starting ones. Now you just put the quick NP first, just like you did with every other NP. It's great. Is the skill UI also different now? I don't remember if that was one of the changes. Vampirism bug? I mean, it's not specifically vampirism as far as I know, because that would affect more than just them, right? Compensation courts? No, because it's actually to the player's benefit. You might be lucky and you might get a like blue rider gem, but like for instance, yeah, it's just not draining like the side characters. So Melt and Karen both are like the nice beneficiaries of they're using their drain skill on their side characters, and it's not doing anything. Like they still get the charge, but it doesn't actually drain the allies, which is kind of nuts. Mighty Chain except Brave greater Mighty Chain greater than Brave except damage plus plus. No, it's a little bit more nuanced than that. Like for instance, it really just depends on what your goals are. And I'm gonna say this, chat. The key to being able to card well and this kind of holds true pre-Mighty Chain and post-Mighty Chain, is being able to think about what your goals are and what you want. And if you can answer that, then you are very easily going to be able to figure out how to card. Because you need to be thinking not only, hey, what do I want to do this turn, but also, do I need to set myself up for future turns? And as long as you can sit there and think about that on a turn-by-turn basis, you'll always card well. And it really only depends on like the cards you're dealt as to what you end up playing. So, Hirsch, thank you for the 47. Use pin pad to complete transaction. Sure. The pin is 6969. Thank you for the resub. I appreciate it. Did we get the 30 cent quartz from the NA Annie? I didn't see it in the present box. That's a good question. I don't know. I have not actually paid attention. Like, if it was there, I probably just brainlessly pulled it out. It's tomorrow? Okay. Yeah, like, I was like, I don't really pay much attention to it, unfortunately. I have taken, so my NA account doesn't care because it's going to whale. My JP account doesn't care because it's broke. So it's like, I just take the long form patient approach on JP, and NA just like doesn't matter. So at that point, I never really pay much attention to how much I'm getting. But okay, so let's see. So chat, again, you do have the Oku main interlude. You guys can use that to get stuff done if you want. I got 15 minutes before I got to do more. I am already done with all my quests for the week, so yeah, I think this is just a let's go in and do more Trom farm. No Dancing Dragons for CAD this weekend? Wait, Dancing Dragons for CAD this weekend. Dancing Dragons for CAD this weekend. Oh, the new JP event. Okay, yeah, sorry. I totally friggin' forgot. Like, I forgot it's actually the name of the event. Oh, wait. Dungeons and Dragons? No, Dungeons and Dragons is there. Wait, why are people assuming that we're not playing it this weekend? I'm confused. Why is it that the moment the sub runs out, you get blasted by long ads? So, like, low-key, Persh, I actually wonder if, like, Twitch is set up to purposely do that. Because every single one of you complains. And I'm not talking about, like, you complain about ads. I'm like, the second you, like, your sub lapses, you immediately notice, which tells me that, like, I actually wonder if Twitch is, like, programmed to sit there and purposely run it when someone's sub runs out. Almost as if it's, like, trying to min-max, like, milk you. It's kind of wild. Because I don't think that's anything I'm, like, doing or setting on my channel. I think that's just straight up, like, the way that it is. How's Elden Ring DLC progress? I mean, we played yesterday. Today I basically just did some stuff pre-stream to like set myself up for things, but I didn't really make any DLC progress. So it's pretty much wherever the hell I was at yesterday. It's set as a reminder to resub. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, right? Oh, right. No, yeah, we were doing the Skadoodle comp. And literally just farming it. Oh, right, but we did get Made Altar done, which is sweet. It means, chat, we're going to have a 120 Made Altar very soon here. Probably as soon as either, well... maybe the hunting quest, may not. It really depends on how much I want to farm specifically on a hunting quest. I just re-upped my sub with Prime. I almost forgot it ran out. Yeah. I mean, don't forget too, chat. I believe I believe sub prices are going up in July. Like, remember that announcement that Twitch had? So it's going to sound bad. It's going to sound like I'm trying to milk you guys for money. But if you sub now for multiple months, you are locked in at that amount, rather than like if you sub month to month, you are going to pay an increased amount. So it's up to you, right? Now, here's the thing. The reality is, if you wait and sub at the increased amount, I get more money off of that. So it's actually more beneficial for me not to tell you this. But if you sub for multiple months now, you can still lock in the lower rate for a little while. So it's totally up to you. Why even pay use Prime? No, I make less money off that. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you for the Prime. I appreciate it. I still find it really stupid how Twitch is like, so part of the reason, and like I said, I was part of the research group when they were actually saying like, hey, let's increase the sub prices. And they literally told us like, okay, we're going to be increasing the prices, which I told them was a bad idea because people are going to get pissed about it. But they also are like, okay, we're going to increase the prices, but as a result, we're going to decrease the amount you get from Prime. And I'm like, that's so fucking stupid. What? How does that make any sense? And it tells you that it's like, Twitch is trying to like make some good positive changes, but that they're still just in the business of making money for themselves, and they had to like hedge their bets. So, but I always found that one funny, that like it came with like an asterisk of yeah, but we're gonna nerf your Prime. But again, like I said, the fact that you guys actually still come to stream and Prime to me, because I know you have to do that manually, I appreciate regardless. So a 3-year sub to CAD right now. I mean, you could do that if you wanted, and it would end up saving you like, let's see, so $36. But that's only if you're going to stay sub to me for 3 years. I hope you do. I hope I'm that entertaining for the next 3 years. But at the same time, I'm not going to tell anyone like how to handle their sub, right? Like, I understand people have monetary issues, and it's the same reason why I never expect anyone to sub. It's just one of those deals where it's like, if people are nice enough to do so, I appreciate them, and if you don't do so, you can go. I'm just like, I'm gonna say again, it's straight up just a case of like, I don't actually care, right? Chat like that one, I could tell. At 60 months, I'm out, CAD. Understandable. Well, wait, no, hold on, Ray. You gotta stay for the funny number. You gotta get to the funny number. You can't just cut out at 60. You're 9 away. Neko Arc, the 6-star beast servant. I like low-key wouldn't be surprised if that were the case. 1,500 Senkorts and 150 tickets saved up for a year, enough to NP5 Ibuki Berserker? Perhaps. But the thing you also need to understand, Jan, is that there's no pity after the first copy. So it might be enough. It also might not be. I'd say on average you're good, but I have certainly had NP5 go way north of that number. Not to try and scare you, but just to kind of temper your expectations that hopefully you get it, but it may not be the case. Is there a particular reason they don't put Ezo on Gudu Gudu banners? Oh, they do. I feel like they have for some, but not all of them. Is it just not to have both him and Morion right up? Yeah, usually. It's they try to control their limited 3 stars like that some, and they do make sure to give them a banner like every year, but it's still fairly rare. Yep. Ezo will be in this Gouda and was on the last one. Is he in this Gouda? I don't remember. But like I said, I'd have to actually take a look at the banners, and it's been a hot second since I've done banner review. Got too many Izos and Moris after the Okuni banner and the Hoku banner here. Yeah, I think depending on the banners that you've rolled, you can have a crap ton of them. Like, I think I checked in my Izo. I had literally bought like all of his I think I literally bought all of his appends and then still had plenty of coins to spare, so I actually ended up feeding some of them. Like, it was way overkill. CAD thoughts on better FGO? FGO is better. What mean? Izo had a banner here in Hikenden. Yep. Yeah, and it's like they usually make sure to give him a banner. It's just one of the cases where because he's limited, you have to find him. Like, you have to like make sure that you actually do roll on one of the banners. You can't just go like, oh, okay, I'll get him off of the I'll get him off the FP pool. Still have like 1,200 coins for Izo. I believe it. Who else's game freeze when trying to do Angry Mango's Bond 10 interlude? It's the only interlude I haven't completed yet. No, I do not have that issue. I will say expect some like unexpected things, chat. We are on the new engine now, so it's entirely possible that there's some spaghetti code kind of leaking. If you see it, report it. That's the best thing you can do. Hello, Razin. Did stutter a bit and take a while to load when I did mine. Interesting. It was like years ago. Yeah, I mean, it might be the sign of like, you know, maybe it's time to check and see if we need a new device. But I'm gonna say at the end of the day, as long as it works, it works. The sauce of the spaghetti is leaking. Mm-hmm. I still find that like Charlie's NP looks rather odd to me. And I don't know why. And I feel like I've always felt that way. No matter how many times I see it, it gives me some Uncanny Valley vibes. Pretty famous for destroying older phones. I think the thing I hated about Mango's interlude was that, like, when I went into it, I went in blind, and I assumed it was just going to be this easy thing. And then you end up with, like, God, was it Lee Shu and Lancer, and he just absolutely wrecks your face. You're like, oh, okay, guess I'll die then. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I would need another point of AP if I went in right now. Chat, we're literally gonna wait out the 8 o'clock update because it's either that or I wait 5 more minutes. Because it's like I'd rather wait 1 minute than 5, but basically in like 20 seconds here, we're gonna end up with my daily like clears resetting. I think if new servants for a story release got bond up during the story release period, it would be a good thing. I mean, it could be, depending on like how you feel about them and how much you want to bond them. I do feel like, again, I've talked about the issue of perhaps like having too much bond. There's plenty of people to be like, it's not an issue, which is really wild because like there's a whole bunch of different like takes on bonding out there, and I always feel like there's some sane ones and then there's some insane ones. Aniko, thank you for the 2 months. Appreciate it. Hope you're having a good one. Is there a good place to spend the current batch of teapots? Usually I tell you guys to wait for an actual event and like try to get into a 90 plus plus node to do it. Sorry, plus. We don't have plus plus yet. Your daily clears at the end of the node, CAD, not the start. Yeah, but I feel like y'all misunderstood like how long it'll take me to actually do a node. And I knew I would have been done with the node before that point. Plus, I also don't know if it resets without me relogging. So, figured I would not take the chance. Interludes often have 1600 bond. Yep. Yeah, if that's the case, then you can try to find a like decent leveled interlude that'll do that. Again, it just kind of depends on what you're trying to do. But yeah, I think like when it comes to bonding, the quote unquote sane take is I want to try to like get the most bond that I can without like being overly wasteful, right? Or being like extremely pedantic. So chat, if one of you's out there that does this, I'm sorry. I don't mean it as an insult, but this is one of the more insane tactics I've seen. For instance, people who go into FGO and refuse to like 3-turn any freaking node. Like literally, if they cannot do a run with all bond stuff on, they won't do the run. And I don't understand that. No support run? No support's fine. There are ways that you can kind of do this now, but I have literally seen people that just go like, no, I am going to take only bond Cs ever, never anything else. The lazy gang? No, I mean, I wouldn't even say it's lazy. I'd say that's like tryharding to the extreme. The lazy gang would be like us who sit there and go like, no, I just want a 3-turn, man. So like, I get it, right? Like, and I understand wanting to get more out of things. Like, for instance, I will often not 3-turn an event node because I have CEs equipped that will actually give bonus drops. But that just entirely depends. And still, there's times that I find a way to do it anyways. So it definitely depends. But yeah, like I have straight up seen people that, like, for instance, will also not take event Cs. They will only take bond Cs. And I'm like, hiya. To do my best Uncle Roger impression. People take this game way too seriously. I think for stuff like that, yes. Right? If you're new and don't have the ability to yet, I understand. Well, if you're new and you don't have the ability to yet, you also wouldn't have the like ability to like max out bond slots, right? So like I do understand why people care so much. I don't understand why people will literally like be like, yeah, I'm gonna go from 3-turning this to like 9-turning it just so I can get the min-max bond. I feel like that shit's not worth it. Yeah. So it's like you guys will see. I'll often do a 6-slot myself, but it's usually with a looper. Or I will do a 5-slot and I will straight up like only have the damage dealer have a non-bond C on. I think that's perfectly fine and sane because you're not like trying to sacrifice gameplay to min-max the bond. Okay, so that's kind of where I'm at on that. But also at the same time, I feel that equally not caring about bond is equally insane. It's just like if one is insane to one end, the other is insane to the other, right? Like that's the people that either never take any bond or they just perpetually are running like bond 15 units and not caring. And I'm going to say like, again, I understand using a bond 15 unit. One, they may be strong, or two, they just may be your favorite freaking unit that you've used a ton. I don't understand I am only going to use those units and I'm just not going to get any bond. So to me, the logic is to exist somewhere in between those two extremes, to want to gain as much bond as humanly possible, but not to let it, like drive you insane. The flat 50 bond Cs. Yeah, it's kind of wild. I don't take them enough, even though I know that. Usually I do end up running them on the back line, and it usually is just because of like party cost reasons. So that's why. Also, I ended up talking so long that I didn't immediately go into the node. Actually, wait, am I on Reichenbach? No, I'm on Sirmium. Screw this. Back to Reichenbach. Give me both, damn it. There we go. Me not doing blue apples because I need Bond. Yeah, and I've said this before. If you ever have a reason not to like do a blue apple, that's perfectly fine, right? Like blue apples are what you do when you have nothing else to do. Blue apples are what you do when you literally go like, hey, I don't have time for this and I need to like, like go to work, go to class, do something else, right? Like you still want to do your 3 runs a day, but blue apples are meant to be there as the like, hey, I'm sorry, I just don't really see a point in actually playing at the moment. But I wouldn't tell you to like go so crazy with the blue apples that you never end up playing the game. I'm scared of maxing bonds so much I run no bond Cs. Don't be afraid. Like, I'll say this. I kind of have that issue on JP now. However, that's because my JP, like, near constantly is running double support loadouts. In a weird way, my NA, if I really wanted to, could just sit here and load up, like, 3 servants and just have one of them take out each wave. And then, like, it's not an issue. But it is kind of weird in that regard because I am sort of shooting myself in the foot for Bond if I do that. Just Bond Grail? Yeah, I highly recommend Bond Grailing. I'll feel pressured to run other units which are just strictly worse. Yeah, I mean, I think like, so for instance, you can see, right? I usually am ending up like in a lot of my JP runs. I'm like, hey, I take a support Castoria. I am like running a like Nero Bride. I have my damage dealer, and then I have like some sort of third support. And this can be any number of things. It can be something like Shufu, Waver, heck, Helena Caster, Paracelsus. You name it, right? Like, so it's any number of things that I think would make the loop work and operate. Sometimes it's Oberon. Sometimes it's like literally like, oh hey, I'll run triple Scotty or something like that. But the only reason that I say this is because again, my entire goal with it is simply spread it around. And I feel like the more you spread, the more okay you'll be. However, I will admit that we don't currently have a solution to what do you do if your character is max bond. So there's no bond 20, there's no bond overflow, there's no like change to that system as far as we know coming. And we kind of know this only because the devs have said they don't have plans to do bond 20 at the moment as of last year's interview. So we'll see headed into this year if they change that. Maybe that stance will change. Because I think what they're probably beginning to see is they're probably beginning to see that like, oh, well shit, we don't want to give people bond 20, but why is everyone still using their bond 15 units? Odds are if your unit's at bond 15, it's either because they are a crutch that you use all the time, or it's because they're your favorite unit. And in either case, you are not going to not use them. I do feel like for something like arts, especially, you can get around having to use Castoria. She is, like, in a weird way, non-essential from that angle. But that's because you're taking a support Castoria. And then you're running other units of your own. And it's just because Arts has so many options for who to pick as a support compared to like Quick, where it's just Scotty, or again, like Buster, which Buster at least has a couple options, but it's usually going to be Koyanskaya or Oberon are going to be your two for this one. So it is what it is. I feel like Arts just kind of has the most adaptability from that sense because it has so many good choices. But yeah, I think that's definitely an issue, right? Like, I feel like people are not going to suddenly stop using Koyanskaya. People are suddenly not going to stop using Oberon. People are suddenly not going to stop using like Summer Scotty. It's just going to be like, oh well, fuck it. Like they'll use what they can get away with probably, but they're not going to shoot themselves in the foot. I don't think you can ever like rely on an ally, sorry, not an ally, a player to shoot themselves in the foot. And Lady Avalon is the support. Yeah. No, like I said, I mean, there's plenty of options. She's the one that got me most recently there, rarely a 90 plus load node. Yeah, and I mean, you can do like multi-damage dealer setups too. The only issue with that is usually if you want to, like the less supports you run, it's almost inversely proportional to the amount of NP levels you need. Because you need some way of force multiplying. So if you're taking one support or no supports, your unit needs to be stronger and even stronger in order to still get over the hump damage-wise. Now, maybe it is in some circumstances. In others, maybe it's not. So the issue with that then becomes you're either a whale that has a plethora of options and can get away with that, or you're a free-to-play and now you're switching from bonding your meta support to bonding your meta damage dealer. And you're still in the same boat, right? So again, you can spread the damage around, but you can spread the bond around, but only like so much. And I think they're trying to count on that pressure to like get people to roll. The problem is, and like I'm going to use another example here, chat. What do you do when your Summer Scotty's at bond 15? I mean, like maybe you go back and roll OG Scotty, but most of you probably have OG Scotty if you're an old enough account. So your Scotty's probably also there too. There's no replacement. So it's like you can roll a new support, but that new support isn't going to like help you out with Quick. So that's kind of the issue that I think you run into, is basically just that like some units aren't as replaceable. For instance, you want a 3-turn with a 30% Buster Charger? Hope you got Oberon. You can maybe take an Oberon on support, start out the 100%, or sorry, start out the 3-turner, the 30% Charger at 100%, and then pop their 30%, get a support Oberon for an additional 70, and still take 2 other 50% Chargers, and that's enough charge. But this is way less damage. Because if you're taking a support Oberon, it means you're not taking double Koyanskaya. So it's certainly a concern. And I think it just is what it is. Bond 15 Saber Jills. That's just terrifying. More power to you, I guess. I think the devs are overestimating how willing people are to ditch their high NP level 120 DPS. Yeah, I agree, right? Like, I've got a 120 bunny, and she's right here. But like, if I wanted to basically sit there and say like, hey, you know, I've taken this unit to 120. So what? I've invested all this money, all this time, all this effort. Now I'm not going to use them. I think that's like psychotic thinking if they actually believe that. And that's why, like, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I fundamentally disagree with their at least stated decision making on bond and not allowing bond 20 or bond overflow. Like, to me, it's like, all right, you can do that. It's not going to make anyone happy. Like, literally, that is just not a popular choice with your players. So, and I don't think it really is going to make a big difference for them. I don't think it's going to make people roll. I think the amount of people that go, oh no, I hit bond 15 with this unit, time to roll another unit, is probably very small. I have MLB K-Scope and MLB Black Grail. Which CE should I pick from the anniversary? I was considering a second plain Black Grail personally. Any advice? Do you have any other K-Scopes, Mish? Or let me say this. Do you have any other K-Scopes or perhaps even something like Wizard Marshal? Yes. Yeah, I think chat brought up a good question. Do you have Prisma Cosmos? Hello, Sparta. I left when Romulus Carinus was relevant. Any advice for catching up with the current state of the game? Yep. It's pretty much the same as when you left. The only difference is we've had some like new meta supports come out. Let me think. Was Castoria still out then? No, Castoria came out after LB5. So, well, yeah, I mean, if Castoria was out by the time you came out, that side of things has not changed. She's still broken as dicks and really good. The only thing that's going to be new to you is the Koyanskaya system and Oberon and how strong he is. And that definitely changes things for Buster. It also adds a new 70% charger to the game that allows for way more units to be able to 3-turn. You started to see the rise as well of a lot of like multi-damage dealer setups. But it's totally up to you as to like how to go about things and how to play. As for like just catching up, I just highly recommend catching up on story. That's probably the biggest thing that you can do. Everything else will fall into place. Okay, I just saw you just typed Castoria, Roma, Grand Orion, Crane, Ozzy, Arjuna, and other servants. Yeah, so you haven't been gone that long. Can MP1 level 100 arc with 2k foe balance low levels? It can do some, but for instance, a level 100 2k foed NP1 will do less damage than an NP2. They're close, but it'll do less damage. Particularly in Ark's case, because she has that weird shtick with her it's raining, nice. Her NP level also scales not just her NP damage, but also the scaling of her anti-chaotic niche. Okay, so you got a normal Prisma Cosmos. Then yeah, I would tell you to just go ahead and get the second. Well, I mean, if you have Fragment of 2030, that'd be another one to ask. But generally, I would side on get the second Black Grail, because I feel like Black Grail's got a little bit more usefulness in that regard. But as long as you have other options for like starting out with good charge, you should be okay. Because that's why I asked if you had a like second K-Scope or a second Wizard Marshal or something like that. Heck, even an MLB like Imaginary Around or something like that can really help out. So, you mean a Scuffed Cuckoo passive? Yeah. Or 1/3 of a Himiko skill? Well, technically not 1/3. It's a little more, but maybe like half. Do not bless the rains down in Africa, chat. Please, I'm begging you. Every year we do this. It's the same song and dance. somebody blesses the rains down in Africa, and then the rains end up going out over the Atlantic, turning into a spiral and coming all the way over to Florida. So please stop doing that. I really don't need another oceanic death spiral headed my way. Covered on battery C's, indeed. Yeah, so I think you're right on the money. Just get the second Black Grail. Unless you feel like you need like something like 2030 or another Prisma Cosmos more. I will say getting a second Prisma Cosmos is still useful. So tough, you're getting a season's worth anyways. No! Anyways, chat, let's go over to JP, and let's also, before we start the CQ, let's actually talk about the QOL. Okay, we're not going to use fandom for that, because fandom quite literally doesn't have it detailed. Okay. Thanks for the advice. Yeah, no problem. You don't need another Andrew. Okay, sorry for the flashbang, everyone, because I know this is stupidly bright. It hurts even my eyes. So again, thank you for playing Fate Grand Order. The Chaldea PR department is pleased to announce a large-scale game update. We kind of knew this was coming, right, chat? So, basically, we got the updated engine. We knew this was going to happen. They had already announced it. It's really nice that we did, but keep in mind that, like I said, you may notice some bugs here and there, some things that maybe just due to the fact that they're in a like weird position or something or other, kind of because it's like in a different code state than it was on JP, that you might see some occasional bugs, or maybe just even bugs that JP didn't get around to fixing on our end of things yet. So it just is what it is. Yeah, exactly. So the big thing is we also got some new quality of life, as well as we got 50 quartz for the again, the download campaign, or sorry, not download campaign, the pre-campaign, the social media pre-campaign, which y'all should know about this at this point. Again, it be what it be. But basically, if you guys haven't already, make sure you go like and retweet this. It's actually really weird because I could have sworn that I just did this at work, but there you go. I'll add mine to the pot. But yeah, again, you're going to be getting 50 paid sync cords. So it's really, really nice in that regard. Also, dangerous click there because I literally saw another tweet right there. Hello, Fox. So we got some new functionality. The first one right here is going to be that we got normal, bond, and Valentine's filters added with a new type category in the craft essence filter settings. So a lot of these are new filters. What does that mean? That means you can literally end up going and actually like sorting by these things in your, again, in this case, the actual craft essence settings. So like if you're trying to pick a craft essence for a node, if you're trying to go and find a craft essence to like level up or combine or something like that, you have these new filters. In particular, it's nice because you have one for bond and Valentine's. What does this mean? This is not CEs that increase your bond. This is a servant's bond craft essence. So they're bond 10 craft essence. And Valentine Cs both now have their own settings. This is really useful, particularly for finding a bond C that you couldn't find, or for going, hey, I need to like sort all of these Valentine Cs so that I can turn them into a CE bomb because they're filling up my inventory. Okay, so like it's really, really nice in that regard. I have already used these on JP quite a bit. Now, and again, you guys can see it actually just straight up has a picture. I was unaware it did, so. But there you go. So you can now see that there are different type ones. You've obviously got your rarity and stuff, things that you already had. There's the function to set up parties based off class affinity. This sounds really cool. And I cannot stress to you guys how little it actually matters and that it's functionally worthless. The problem with this is it just throws in random shit. So it's like, let's say you're facing Lancers. He'll just throw in a shit ton of Sabers into your party. But if you're facing something like Lancers, Archers, and Berserkers, it will throw in a shit ton of Sabers into your party. Because it will only go based off the first unit. And I think it's dumb that it does that. So that already is a huge hit against it, because you might not take the right things that you would actually want to. It was brought to us in the Foot Tower event, as I like to call it, and it was actually utterly worthless in the Foot Tower event. Reason why? It actually didn't help you min-max because it would default to using all of your 5 stars first. So you would sit there and you would try to run through the tower as fast as possible. It would use all of your best units first. And then by the time you started running out of units, you're like, oh shit, all I've got left are the 1 stars. Ah, damn, this is good. So yeah, it's not done well. It's a good idea that is extremely poorly implemented at the current moment. We have told them as such. They are aware of it. Like, for instance, I literally filled this out on the survey that, like, hey, yeah, this automatic party builder that you had, it's crap. You need to actually improve it. It does not do better than it, otherwise is shown to do. So they have said before that they would like to improve it, but we heard them say that literally in the anniversary interview after the Foot Tower. It has been almost a year and they have not improved it even once. So, like I said, I don't think most people are going to use this setting. Also because, like, there's not really a way to change things up, and you guys can see. So it's good for just throwing shit in. It's not good for anything else. And literally it says, here's your auto setup criteria. The party is formed from servants who are eligible to participate in the quest. So it's not going to use someone ineligible. Servants with the highest attack stat are prioritized after taking class affinity into consideration. Again, as I said, it will take the first class on a stated node before any other class. So because of that, this part's not really that useful. I mean, I guess at least it uses your highest attack stat units, but that is both a factor of units that you have leveled up, as well as units that just have a high attack stat. So for instance, talk Sabers here, chat. It might throw Sigurd in, and you just maybe wanted like some AoEs. You can't tell it the rarity. You can't tell it the damage type. You can't tell it the card type. It does literally nothing. Craft essences are equipped from the first slot using any remaining cost after servants are set. Well, remember, it automatically loads in 5 stars. You don't have a lot of cost left. So it very frequently does not fill out all your craft essences. There's settings. Yeah, you can customize a little, but it's not very much. If event bonus craft essences is turned on, rarity will be prioritized. So there's that. If event bonus craft essences individual is turned off, and for normal quests, craft essences with the highest attack stat include NP gain in their effects will be prioritized. Which is really funny because it's not NP charge. But I guess, right? Oh, maybe they did add this then. Yeah, I did not remember that it actually had the ability to sort by the rarity of that. But yeah, so you guys can see it's now going to be a new button called auto setup down here. You're literally going to have a preferences button that you can select. And basically in this, you can say, hey, here's the number of servants I want, which is kind of a really weird thing. I actually feel like this is somewhat of a waste because nobody's going to sit there and go, you know what? I only want one unit. If you only want one unit, you're not using the auto loader. You're just going to go and select one unit because it's faster. Same thing with 2. And I think maybe the breakpoint would be like 3 or more. I'm just going to say again, you're probably not going to care. And even then, you still might just press the button, have it load up like 5 servants, and then just straight up like get rid of it. Because removing a servant's really fast. Adding a servant takes time. So it is what it is. But yeah, you guys can see there's really not a whole lot in terms of the actual like pickable stuff. These are literally your only selection settings. So yes, there's some, it's just not a whole lot. Okay, now we get a rarity category added to the filter settings. The new rarity category will be added basically on settings on screens where you select servants, such as the servant selection screen when forming a party. This rarity category will have buttons ranging from 1 to 5, and basically turning each button on, servants corresponding to that rarity will be displayed. So there's a couple of interesting things about this. One, in a weird way, I don't know why they did this in the Spirit Origin list, because they actually got embers in here, but it is what it is. But basically, again, this is now going to allow you to actually say, hey, I only want to see like a 1-star, I only want to see a 2-star, I only want to see a 3-star, right? Definitely nice. I am really surprised it took them like this long to actually add such a feature. JP's had it for a while now. I use it profusely. But it's just kind of a thing, and it's relatively intuitive in that regard. The only exception to this rule that I will denote, and it's funny because I stumbled across this one the other day, is you can select 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, 5-star, or all of the above, and you will never see Angry Mango. The only way you will ever see Angry Mango is if you turn all of them off, because Angry Mango is considered a 0-star. And he does not actually appear in the rarity filters. It's kind of funny. Nice, but why didn't we have this before? Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a lot of quality of life issues, right? I'm gonna say, kudos to them for adding it, but that's one that, like, dear God, that probably should have been added like year 1. Class group category added to filter settings. So this one's kind of okay. I'm gonna be honest, I very rarely use this. Very rarely. It's, hey, we've added basically each one for the 3 like triangles, right? So you have the knight triangle, you have the cavalry triangle, you have the extra 1 and the extra 2 triangle. So now you guys can sort by groups. It's far more likely though that you're just gonna be like, oh man, I really just need like a ruler, and you're just gonna go turn that on. That's usually how that one's gonna go. Okay. In a weird way, it might have actually served them better to do something where it's like, hey, I need an effective unit. So then it's like, oh, are you facing Lancers? Shows you a Saber, it shows you a Berserker, and shows you a Pretender. That might have actually been interesting had they done something like that, but I understand that they probably, like, that's something that's harder to code, because it definitely depends on the node, and this doesn't have to be when you're choosing a unit for your party. So this could be other things. Need help to set up this team? Sorry, your message got shot. This is my 5-star servants: Kiara, Artoria, Charlemagne, Tometomo, Waver. Mysterious Heroine X, Moriarty Ruler, and Creamhill, and I'm in Lost Belt 5. Okay. So what are you asking, like, Bomber? Like what are you trying to do with it? Are you just trying to get through like Lost Belt 5? Because you're gonna need writers for that. So I highly recommend working on some writers. Extra one, yeah. Anyways, so like I said, to me, I almost never use the actual class grouping filter. This one's kind of a nothing burger to me. Extra classes can now be filtered individually in the filter settings when selecting servants. This, much nicer. I use this all the time. The only downside is on JP. I had to actually learn which one's which. And still to this day, I occasionally get them wrong. I know that Shielder is the very middle one. Everything before that are the 7 base classes, and in order, right? And then from there, yeah, I was gonna say the first one's usually Ruler, then Avenger, then Moon Cancer, and then I believe it goes Alter Ego, Foreigner, Pretender, and Beast. Yeah, there you go. So I didn't even end up looking at it in the end. So basically, it's kind of like something that I just had to learn off the top of my head. But I do kind of know these pretty much by heart, and it is very like intuitive once you get the hang of it. You're just going to go in there and you're just going to use it to pick stuff. So again, you guys can see this just allows you to actually have this sort of thing. It's really funny because we have a filter for each of the classes, but we don't have an actual support slot for them. And I have seen that called out a couple of times, but I'm still happy to have it nonetheless, because it does actually allow you to be able to very quickly and easily find something, rather than just having like, here's extra, and every single one of your extra class units are just lumped into that same potluck, right? Level match 2, very important, yes. Does the hunting quest start tomorrow? Yes. Spoiler alert? Nah, it's not a spoiler alert. UI improvements. So banner designs updated for certain missions and progress completion notifications. This is the only one that I wasn't sure of when I was talking with people earlier. So you guys can see it's in the extra tab. This tab is the tab that holds all of your milestones. Okay. Now, with this, they basically said, we've updated the banner designs of missions whose completion requirements involve a specific class, as well as their progress completion notifications. The only thing I can assume is that this is just meant to prep for the like milestones you're going to get at anniversary for having your units leveled up. Interestingly enough, though, this also kind of like sounds like class score, but I'm not going to assume that you're getting class score early. I assume this is meant to help deal with all of that. So that's it. Oh, sorry. Yes, it reset tomorrow. Thank you. Just learn katakana. I'm serious, by the way. It's not hard. What? Anyway. And that's basically it, right? So like, this is the only one that I wasn't entirely sure of. I just assume it's this, right? Like, they're just trying to put a little banner here so that you can easily identify like, oh, how do I complete this? Oh, it must be an archer related one. The thing is, this gets a little muddy later on with class score, because class score, like this, it's like, oh, again, like basically each one of these you guys can see is final ascension. But then you start getting ones where it's like, have the unit FO'd. Have the unit skills worked on. And then it's like, have so many levels of progress in this class. And you're like, huh? So, like, at least on JP, I could not necessarily tell the difference between the individual missions. But to be fair, I also didn't care. These are sort of things that it's like, if you just raise all of your units, you're going to be okay over time. In the short term, yeah, you can try to like min max it and try to get them, but it's not going to make a huge difference, right? Like, ooh, wow, 3 quartz. Hey, that's nice, but you know, that's just a single spin. So, like, it only will begin to add up over time as you complete more and more of them. How would they even do class score early? Yeah, you would literally need ordeal call. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's what when I first read it, I was like, oh yeah, we have a whole bunch of class specific missions with ordeal call. And then I went like, oh no, this is probably just for Annie. Like, I straight up just realized that that's probably what was going on. That they were setting it up in advance. Which is really weird, because if you see, they're not saying that new milestones, new extra tabs have been added. They're just saying they've updated the designs so that you can easily distinguish them. And do keep in mind, there are tutorial missions with the same thing. So like there's tutorial missions out there for like, hey, you know, level this class, level this servant skills, that sort of stuff. So like there's already stuff like that to begin with, but we're going to be getting a lot more milestones for it. So, yep. JP would rightfully riot for what? Oh, for class score early? I don't think JP would riot. I'm gonna be real with you guys. I don't think that many people are actually partaking in class score at JP. Or at least if they are, they're just kind of like slowly working on it and letting it build up over time. I think class score is, because it's so gated, it is a mechanic that like the majority of people are like, hey, it's there. Something to do, but I don't care. Like, yeah, and that's true. I think the only thing that would actually upset JP is if NA quite literally got something that they didn't. And even then, it's still probably only going to be an issue if they feel like slighted, right? So for instance, NA got a GSSR that JP didn't. But they also said that GSSR is going to JP eventually. So I think like the Japanese are just like, oh, okay. Like they don't really care. My participation is just doing pods. Oh, I mean, that's how I am on JP myself. Right? So like, for instance, chat, let's go to class score. Oops, you can see how long it's been since I've come into class score. I have not been in since I defeated Ordeal Call 2. We did unlock the Avenger one first, which is kind of hilarious because I think that's right up a lot of Avengers' alleys. It definitely makes them stronger. But no, I mean, you guys can see I'm sitting on 1200, and I have no pressing need to like deal with this. It is what it is. They can't balance the game around it because it's such a pick what you want to pick system. And at the end of the day, you're largely gated by the final unlockers. I have 2 at the most right now. And once I've used those, I'm not getting to the best like things in class score. So time to unleash the rulers. I would love it if they would unleash the rulers. To me, rulers needed it far more than Avenger did, but it is what it is. I assume this is all just narratively driven. Can't program something well enough when you have more and more freedom. Yeah. And to be fair, even if they did end up like locking everything behind, like, oh, hey, you need to have done your class score, people would just sit there and complain. They would just be like, oh, this is bullshit. Why can't I do this without the class score? So it is what it is. It's kind of a no-win situation for them. And I'm not saying that class score is a bad system. It's just that it is a gated system. And so because it's gated, there's only so much you can get out of it. Like, it does not matter how much Stardust I collect. I am largely limited by these last two unlockers. The more I have, the more I can do. The less I have, well, is what it is. So it's why, like I said, I'm not really that like, oh man, I really got to get this done. Which actually, where am I at on class score? We got Pretender as well, that's another funny one. Well, hold on. Did we already have Alter Ego chat? Yeah, because it looks like it's also glowing. Whereas these two are not. Alter Ego was Ordeal Call 1, yeah, okay. Yeah, technically you get bang for your buck here because you get Alter Ego and Pretender. Dear God, when they actually do Foreigner, that one's going to be a little nutty. Kukulkan with more NP damage. Granted, that's already Tiamat with more NP damage, so it is what it is. You get the unlockers for extra missions and the challenge quest on the Bleach Earth. Right, which they only offer a certain amount of those. So, like, you are literally beholden to their whims and when they decide to release more. Whenever they release more, you get them. Until they do, you're stuck. And that's it. Like, that's why I said it is a gated system fundamentally. Let me check my Berserkars. I don't remember if I had started down this path. I had. Ooh. Hello. Finally, my Castoria Berserker gets even stronger. This is a nice one too. It's all and here you go, chat. Look at the cost. So it's going to cost me 200 of Stardust. It's going to cost me 20 freaking gallstones and 14 million QP just for this one upgrade. It starts getting kind of expensive. And it is somewhat why, again, so this one's going to be 20 million QP, 250, and 50 of the freaking monuments. But there we go. Now I have basically, was that 5%? Yeah, 5% extra NP damage. And there should be another one over here. Probably going to do Lancer first since that's most of my favorite servants. I actually did Lancer first myself. There's a lot of logic to do Berserker because if you think about it, Berserker is just a class that naturally is applicable in so many situations. But it's totally up to you as to how to attack class score. Okay. So now that one's done. And basically, so chat, there are the other like routes, and you can eventually go this way if you want, right? But you can see, I don't really get a whole lot from doing these others. The biggest thing that you're going to get is you basically get extra attack performance, which is certainly nice, okay? But you're looking at, like, let's see, so you get 10% there. And 10% here. So you're going to get up to 20% extra attack performance, which is, again, it's a good thing, but it's not like, oh my God, hey, I have to have this. To be fair, though, the majority of class score is fundamentally focused on carding. So units that you feel like you're going to card with more are going to get way more benefit out of class score. That's where, again, some of the argument for like Berserker comes in as well. So it's still good. It's just like, I pretty much predominantly go after the NP damage more than anything. Why? Because I do so much freaking farming that more NP damage with the units that I use. And chat, it's 10%. It's a sizable portion. That's good, right? Like, it is just making your units stronger. So, yeah, that's kind of what I've started to do is I just go through and I target the NP damage upgrades in each one. And then it is what it is. And you guys can see I've done Lancer. Yep. I don't remember if I've done Saber all the way or not. Nope. Yeah, I just dabbled in it a little. Done Berserker now. What was the other one that I did? Was it extra too? I don't think it was. Yeah. This is weird because I could have sworn I had a third one. It shouldn't be this because we literally just unlocked it. Oh, god damn it. I just literally selected another one. Shouldn't be caster. Okay. Imagine go after class score opens up for her. Yeah. For some reason I'm short on rider monuments. Do you have a lot of riders? God damn it. Yeah, so I guess it literally just is. It's Lancer and Berserker are the ones that I've done so far. And then I started dabbling on Saber. I don't think I did Assassin. Yep. So yeah, and that's like, I've done these two. I pretty much have my eye set on the extra classes, wondering, hey, which one's going to unlock next? It would really help if we knew ahead of time. I also would like to point out that it's very interesting because per Nasu's own interview, we know for a fact that Shielder is not going to get an actual, like, ordeal call. So, but it's still on here. So I assume you're going to see kind of like how, like, Pretender and Avenger unlocked in this last one. It may be like, hey, the last one was Avenger focused. But maybe you also get an unlock for another. So that's probably just going to be how they're going to handle it. I expect you're probably going to see the same thing with, like, you're going to see a ruler focused one, but you're not going to probably see a Moon Cancer or Shielder one, right? Yeah, we've only got 4 total so far, right? It's probably the ruler next. It might be. I'd have to like go do a little bit of a deep dive to try and actually give you an educated guess as to like who it is and what it's going to deal with, right? Because we don't even know, at least I don't think we know yet, where Ordeal Call 3 is located. I'm not sure that they have done very much with it, but yeah. We should give MASH a crazy ass boost somehow then. So the interesting part is it doesn't matter because the class scores are all shared. You literally have extra one, and extra one, as you upgrade it, upgrades all 4 classes. So like, if you grab the NP damage on extra one, it is not helping out MASH. Just keep that in mind. But like, again, it is what it is, right? Like, to be fair, it's like, okay, you grab the NP damage for Foreigner for extra 2, it's not helping Van Gogh. And that's like, anyone that's kind of got a support NP, you pretty much know what the deal is. MASH can crit harder in Ortonax form? Probably. It's on the map, is it? I didn't think it was. Did we actually have it? I mean, are we sure about that? By the way, it's a very conspicuous location. Because based off it, the center's like right there, which is not necessarily Italy. It might be like Venice. But like this actually looks more like it's along the Ionian. Is it Venice? Came to me in a dream, I made it the fuck up. That's fine. I guess if you really like the extras, it's neat. Multiple at once get bonuses. Yeah, there's a lot of bang for your buck if you actually level the extras. So it's like I've got Lancer, I've got Berserker online. I'm considering Saber next, but the question is going to be if they actually unlock, like, again, Ruler. I'll go after Ruler first. It will be in the Vatican. I mean, the positioning isn't right for it. And yeah, France is certainly further west. So like, just again to show you guys here, like, The actual center of it is like right here. So this, like, it's kind of difficult to draw because my thing can't go that small. But it's like this right down here is Italy. Like chat, straight up. Like this is the freaking this is Sicily right here that you can see the edge of. Here's the boot, and it curves up in. So I guess it could be in Italy, but I'm not sure that this position's correct for like Rome. This looks to be more on like the backside of the Italian peninsula to me, which would be like it would fit for Venice. Venice would be like right in that area, but that's getting like really, really like point position perfect, and I'm not sure if they actually cared enough. Yeah. Papal States, Italy. I mean, you may still see like something like that happen, right? Where like they actually do end up involving the papacy or something. Because again, if it's in Italy, that can be a thing. But if it's San Marino, that's true. It could be. It could be. It could be Dan Marino. Anyways, chat, let's go do the CQ. I've got 2 days to get it done, and we haven't done it yet. Where is it? Okay, I actually do not remember what this CQ is. Dan Marino, QB class? No. I believe you meant to say Archer. He's male Jarcher, chat. He just shoots dolphins at you. I wonder if they even know who Dan Marino is in JP. I'm sure some people do. I'm sure there's people over in Japan that watch American football. How big it is, I'm sure it's not very big, but like, I'm sure there are people that do watch it. Maybe it's Rome, New Nero, Lamau. I mean, it would be really funny if Nero is involved again, just because it would absolutely salt people, right? In that regard, I would also like begin to be like, okay, that's kind of weird timing. I don't know why you did all this crap with like Lilim Harlot, and then you buff Umu, and then you also give Umu a singularity. That would probably make people quite angry. Like, I wouldn't mind, but I would also just be like, oh, that's odd. To be fair, though, they've done stuff like that before. Like, there was a period in time where like we got like a crap ton of like Ishtar stuff back during Babylonia, and I pointed it out back then. I was like, this is kind of ridiculous, like, because it wasn't just like one thing, it was like 5 things. Ace Ventura, what a movie. Laces out, Dan. Okay, challenge quest. It's a multiple servant gauntlet. Gimmick is a reproduction of the PvP Grail battles for arcade. So pay attention to the rules to win this challenge. In the challenge, you have to accumulate 100 points. Every time you defeat an enemy, it will have its permanent Guts ability activated. It then swaps out with its reserve group. Example, when Satanta is defeated, he will revive and swap out with Leonidas. Same when you defeat others. After a turn ends and the player has defeated an enemy servant, a message will display how many Grail points the player has gained. There's a point guide for how much each enemy is worth based off their rarity. The goal is to defeat as many servants and gain 100 points, so the enemies will keep getting recycled until the task is complete. After defeating about 7 enemy servants, whichever servant is placed in the first slot of the front row will receive a Holy Grail status. When a servant with this status defeats an enemy servant, the points will double based off of the rarity. So, to make this challenge a little bit more easy, make sure you have your main DPS attacker servant on the first slot to receive Holy Grail status. Yeah. You can win easier if you utilize the DPS Noble Phantasm to wipe out the enemy side and gain a net worth of Grail points. Grail status is earned within the challenge quest. The gimmick will not work in any other way where a servant activates it as a skill. So using Draco's second skill will not be registered as the CQ Grail status. Yeah. The only thing I'm thinking of is we've got a foreigner in here, and otherwise it's like I really would just prefer to run an actual berserker. Like just sit here and like loop this crap with Musashi, which may be what I go to do regardless. But let's see here. With Summer Mellow, yeah, I mean that's like at least getting an extra class servant, you're neutral. I threw Aoko at it, Jesus. And again, I could always do Draco. Draco would hard counter most of the units. It's just Tiamat and Double X would cause some issues. We're gonna try, I think, with Muchachi. Because again, we've got damage she, so that's a thing, and my Musashi is not the worst. I'm gonna throw in a Proto Merlin on Le Backline. Gonna turn off my bond filter. And then so I could actually MLB for a second damage she, but I'm lazy and I don't think it'll be necessary, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna end up throwing on my Prisma Cosmos onto Castoria. Probably just chuck some charge onto her. Of course it's too much. There we go. Your NP5 damage bonus Draco wouldn't care. Yeah, but I want the AoE, right? And I don't have Tiamat. So to me, this is just kind of a no-brainer. It's just literally like try to loop it and laugh, and that way you don't have to deal with much. Yep. But yeah, I think this is just the easy way to do it. Interestingly enough, I'm not sure this challenge quest is really that failable. Like, it really just appears to be a gimmick, right? Oh, it looks like there is an order to the swapping. And you want to target higher rarity units because they're worth more. Oh, that's interesting. Why did Satanta start out at 2 charge already? I'm gonna go ahead and pop the evasion just so that she has it. And again, hopefully that's enough damage. I have no idea how much this is going to do because it's weird because I'm resistant, but I also have the damage sheet. So it's like, it should counteract the resistance, but only to an extent. Okay, somebody lived. And out he goes. Now Leonidas. Perfect. Castoria didn't get the kill, so that means Musashi got everything there. Okay, evasion's a little bit annoying. You just stunned? Hold on. Is that a guaranteeable stun? No, your ability is like... covering fire. Oh, wait. Sorry, no, that's the craft essence that they have equipped. Huh? Yeah, I don't get it. How the fuck did I get stunned?
Oh, right. Tiamat has a 60% chance to stun. Holy crap. I always forget that she has that because it's like, again, I don't put much stock in low percentile like skills like a low percentile charm or stun. I always treat them with a grain of salt as like, yeah, it can occur, but it definitely won't when you need it to, right? Game crashed, yes, of course. Which one starts summer event or anniversary for FGOJP? We don't know. Like we kind of know that like summer is looming, but we don't know like when, right? So it may be the case that we actually get anniversary still first because we just know that summer is LB7 locked, and they've been talking about that, I guess, to get people prepared. But that's really like all they've been doing. Man, I'd rather not use this here, but I think we're just gonna go ahead. Summer is completely unlikely and it's Ordeal Call prologue locked. Is it Ordeal Call prologue? Oh, right, yeah, it's having it completed and then doing the prologue, but to be fair, there's not really very much in the prologue itself. Also, Jesus, Satanta gets annihilated by Musashi now. Is there an instance where Summer came first? No. No, Summer's always been after Anniversary. Like, I'm not going to say that they couldn't run it before, but they just never really have. Okay, that's annoying, but at least we stunned a different unit. Now, the only question that I have is why do they have damage immunity? Because that's just really odd. Oh, wait, no, it went away. Okay, never mind. We're good. I was just confused for a second there because I was like, hold on, what? Okay, let's use that. That's going to make a nice, easy loop. Wait. Wow, the star weight's not good enough even for a berserker. Holy cow. Oh, we'll abuse the free extra bit of charge there. Only when they switch? Yeah, that's fine. I was just concerned that I was like going into a wave where like, oh, now they all have damage immunity and there's not much I can do and it's just a wasted turn. Da Vinci Lotto rerun win. You know, it's really funny because I feel like, chat, didn't they only allow us to pick from like year 5 and onward events for the rerun choice? Because like, yeah, I feel like if the Da Vinci Lotto were a pickable choice, people would have picked it. The interesting part is that they probably would have limited it and it would have like absolutely gone against what people wanted, right? We're gonna do that because it's entirely possible that Satanta shows back up and in peace. Because I think he literally gets 2 charge every time. But maybe it's only at the very first turn. But I'm not sure because he has Kaleidoscope, so I just want to be careful with it. The choices weren't all events. I still think it wouldn't have won. I mean, it might have, right? Because people want those statues really freaking bad. But when enemy servants stun themselves, it's usually just for their follow-up actions on the current turn, right? Summer Tama that stuns throws me off because I believe it's one turn, but the icon lasts to the next turn when she can actually blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so think about it as if, what if you had done it yourself? So if you had stunned Summer Tama herself for her own turn, it just may or may not be a thing, right? Like you go, okay, hey, I'm not going to be able to get away with this. I'm not going to be able to use it. All right, so I have now killed the entire like setup, and we're now on the reloop, which means I still need 100 points, right? It's 8, 10, 12, and 14 are what they're worth. So 12, 12, 8, 12, 12, and 8, 14, 14. So the total 20, 32 on the first wave. $34 on the second wave. And 36 on the third wave. So, oh wow. Yeah, I shouldn't. Wait, huh? I should already be over 100. What? Hold on. I'm so confused. It's a 5-turn min turn if that helps. That's so weird though. Because I have no idea why it's not like adding up to the right amount. But either way, yeah, I guess we go 5 turns. Like, I don't know, chat. So I probably don't kill double X here, unfortunately. But I do believe Satanta probably dies horrifically. Number 6 is just really lucrative. Yeah, I do agree with that. Draco was really like obviously important. Summer 6 was lucrative, but I feel like a big chunk of the reason why people went after it too was the additional aspect of like, oh well, we haven't had Da Vinci in the Evocation Festival. They never reran it, and we basically got another shot at something like Ocean Flyer, right? That's a spicy one. Oh, I'm taunted. Yikes. I'm taunted, and now to be Leonidas. Yeah, I was gonna say the hell. It's the Grail above Musashi, dude. Yes, it's the Nudon Bowl. It's basically just the like counting mechanic. So if the unit that kills some, or if a unit kills someone, they get a Grail. The unit with the Grail gets double the points, and you need a total of 100 points apparently. Which is the only reason why I don't get it, because like either my math is horrifically wrong or like straight up it should have already happened. I'm gonna try to kill him HX here, but I don't know if it'll be enough. Maybe people was in copium that they would give us Blue Summer Kama. I mean, that certainly could be a thing, but I think it's just like that's one of the factors, right? Oh, right, I'm taunted, so it didn't matter anyways. So someone here is dying. Was that my cast area or was that the support cast area? Okay, that was the support one, thank God. Oh, wait. Oh, wait, no, because the order I lose... Oh, thank God. She went after Musashi. I was going to say I lose 2 people because of the order of the NPs there. But, no, this is better. Because now... I'm gonna do it again. Yeah, I think we go like this. Still taunted on Leo? I know. That's the thing that I kept like forgetting. So there's just not a lot that I can do with it. Okay. Yeah, this is the turn I gotta watch out for because I need to kill this turn, but simultaneously I also need to keep the party protected. Because Satanta's gonna come out right after her. Okay, never mind. We win. This is so weird. I think I literally just needed to kill one more there. Like I think that may have been all I needed, but either way, it worked. JP Arcuid rerun where? I keep thinking it's going to be the 30 million downloads campaign, but I don't know where the heck they're going to run the 30 million downloads campaign at this point. It's kind of nuts. Like I'm surprised. I feel like we're overdue for it. I really thought they were going to run it during one of these 2 rerun events, and the fact that we haven't seen it is kind of like, wow, okay, I guess they're going right up to like Annie or something. Which, let me state this, chat, because Trubs has said this before, and I low-key hate the idea. If they try to combine 30 mil with Annie 9, I kind of hate that. Because I feel like it's going to cheapen the rewards that you get for both. If they actually manage to do it justice, that may be one thing. But I feel like if they combine these 2 things, I'm going to be like, God damn it, right? I'd hate a combination. Yeah, I feel like that would not be smart of them, and the players would see it as them attempting to nickel and dime us. And yeah, you got to remember too, right? So like they have to run a 30 million DL servant. And they also have to have the Annie servant. So depending on how good the Annie servant is, either the 30 million downloads gets ignored and they don't earn as much money off of it, or anniversary gets ignored and they don't earn as much money off of it. Combining the 2 is not a good idea. So I really hope that they try to keep the 2 separate. And you know, I don't mind, I guess, too much if they butt up next to each other, if it's like 30 million straight into Annie, but I don't think that's the best idea either. I think it's smarter for them to keep them both separate. I think Annie being kind of crap is the new normal. I don't think so. I don't think any of the anniversaries have been crap, and I'm not really sure why people feel that way. I think like this idea comes from, oh, Annie sucks because it literally wasn't the current NA anniversary. So NA Annie 7 is still historically the most courts ever given out. But chat, it's also the most courts because they just gave a really lucrative milestone. I don't think it's necessarily fair to judge every other one by that bar. And that's kind of what we've seen is ever since this anniversary, oh man, like Annie 8, not that interesting. They didn't do that much. Heck, chat, I saw people complaining about Annie 5, and I still don't fucking understand that. I literally saw people being like, Annie 5 sucks, and it's only because of Castoria that anyone thinks it's good. And I'm like, let me tell you what, chat. If you guys think any of our anniversaries are bad, I banish you to the Shadow Realm, aka Genshin. And you can go have Genshin's anniversary. So enjoy that. It was Lasagna's fault for now expecting it. Yeah, I mean, like, do I feel like some of the anniversaries have been better than others? Yes. I just don't feel like any of them have been bad. We've all gotten courts. I think, like, some people naturally, like, the Annie servant is hit or miss. Some people like the Annie servant. And it really feels like that's the big reason, the big factor. It's that and courts. I will agree, I was disappointed last year. But I was disappointed because they didn't fix the shit we wanted them to fix. Not because the anniversary was bad. I was disappointed because, hey, you need to deliver on some of your promises. Like, literally, oh, you've talked about how you want to fix coins. When's that fix happening? Right? Like, that's my stance on that. But that's separate from anniversary itself. We were just hoping that the fix was going to be at anniversary. So, like, I can sit there and say, like, hey, yeah, I have issue, but my issue is not with the anniversary itself. Genshin had an anniversary? No. No, it didn't. Not hoping for a coin fix for the last 2 years? Yeah, I know. This year will be a disappointment too if they punt again on important issues. Yeah, I will agree with that, but I'm going to say you're just disappointed in the devs. You're not disappointed in the anniversary itself. It doesn't mean like the anniversary wasn't good for rewards and shit like that. Like I said, I feel like a lot of it's tied into like those three factors. It's fixes, rewards, and servant. And for a lot of people, if even one of these things doesn't go their way, they just hate it. So that's where it's like, listen, as long as like this is okay, I'm fine, right? Straight up hell, as long as even just that's okay, I'm fine. Like the rewards are all I care about in that regard. It's just getting free shit. Quality of life? Yeah. I mean, look, I'm going to say this, chat. If I think about it from a dev perspective, if I try to go, hey, look, there's stuff that like the players want fixed in the game, but there's things that we as the devs maybe don't want to fix because it works to our advantage, like the pity system, right? So we would be sitting there and being like, oh man, we really want like changes to the pity system that improve it. We want that quality of life. And we would sit there and we would call it a quality of life. The devs are going to sit there and go like, So I think when you factor out things that might be contentious because the devs might not want to do it, I'm honestly going to say there's really not that much quality of life they can still do for FGO. That's not me defending them. Just that they don't really have a huge amount of options to choose from. However, I think the clear candidate for me is, dear God, fix FP rolling. I don't think that hurts literally any profitability. In fact, I would argue it helps it. But so that's kind of the thing that that I would point out. It's like, hey, this is a quality of life you could do, right? But I think like, yeah, we've gotten a lot of the big obvious quality of lives. Are there things that people want to change? Yes. It just may not be in the devs' plans to. And I think that's largely the biggest issue with them. right? Like, for instance, chat, I said this 3 years ago. Oh, hey, here's this new coin system. Actually, this coin system's really interesting, but it's got a problem. Here's how they should fix it. This was said literally like the week that coins were released. I already knew how to fix the system. The devs are not stupid. They know how to fix it. So why haven't they fixed it? Because they don't want to fix it yet. That's the easy answer. Why they don't want to fix it, I don't know. It might be because they're scummy. It might be because it just benefits them. It might just be because they're planning to fix it at a later, more impactful moment. I'm not sure. Either way, I don't think it's necessarily that like, hey, yeah, they're just straight up like, oops, tee-hee, we forgot. They know, they're just not doing it, right? Would you agree that the things they actually do change are just to look good to their bosses? No. I don't think they make changes to look good to their bosses. I think they make changes only to appease the player base. Like straight up. They like to take their sweet time even with basic fixes. Yeah, and I will say that has absolutely been the case over time. All right, chat. We're going to be doing the media share portion of stream. And it is Elden Ring and or Dark Souls and or Sekiro and or Bloodborne focused. So we're going to go give that a watch. And that does mean that YouTube, I'm sorry, but I'm ending the stream over there on you guys' side of things. So I will see you guys tomorrow. We'll be doing more of the same. So thank you guys. But again, it's copyright issues are why I'm going to have to end it. So hope to see you guys tomorrow. And if not, feel free. You guys can always come over here on the Twitch side of things and come watch. Do appreciate you. Thank you all for watching.